Again, still on this second day on this job, fitting this three-phase board. It's going okay. As you can see, I've got it in place, and I'm in the process of bringing my cables through, and the tails from the switch fuse into the fuse board. As you notice, I've got obviously, like I said yesterday, I couldn't sit it on the trunking because the trunking's too narrow, so I had to put redo them on this with sockets and bushes, couplers and bushes. I've got I put a number of couplers and bushes in because a lot of times when I'm called out to sort of put a new circuit, say in a school, and you go to the fuse board, what I notice is when they've put the fuse board originally in, they've just knocked out enough space to get their cables in. There's still plenty of knockouts, but you can't knock any of them out because they're in place, and you can't drill to. So you have to either drill the side or something like that, or the top, which you try not to do, because obviously top of fuse boards you can't allow any holes, right? So when I fit fuse boards, whether domestic or in commercial premises, I always try and leave lots of options for people to get new circuits in. So once they get in the trunk in, take the lid off, take the fuse board, they've got plenty of space. So that's why I put a number of them there. It's just something that I've found through experience. Don't know what you guys think, but anyway, speak to you later. That's the new things. These RCBOs are being reduced in size. I only discovered this about a couple of months ago. My wholesaler told me about it, but I ordered some RCBOs, but I didn't expect them to be smaller size like they are now, which is good. It's good. Good innovation. Latest update, fuse board is up. I'm in the process of putting the circuits in, organizing the circuits. Just sent away and got some cable ties. Just going to tie the cables together and push them in nice and neat, and then do the connections, connect to the main switch. And I still got to do a connection from the main switch to the from the switch fuse to the main switch. I've got to reorganize the cables in here because some of them are slightly short, so I've got to get a bit of slack so they can reach the switch. And I'll let you know how it goes. When I'm doing fuse boards, what I try to do, I just want to get the ideas from you guys, because what I do, I try to leave a bit of slack, right? Because what I noticed is, whenever I go to change over a fuse board, usually in the domestic premises, I usually find that because of the way the old fuse boards were designed, what the people tend to do, they may cut the live cable, because it goes there, cut it just to go there. The neutral goes over to there, and they cut it longer, or vice versa. So when you take off the old fuse board, you've got some cables from the same circuit are short and come along, and you usually have to end, because of the way the design of the new fuse board, you have to end up joining them. So from way back, what I've always tried to do is leave a bit of slack. I cut my cables the same length, but because a lot of what I do is just based on what I've experienced over the years. And so like here, I've left slack, and I've left a bit of slack into the things, and I've cut all my cables the same, live and neutral. There's no earth because the conduit and stuff of the earth. Yeah. So I cut them the same, and I said it's all based on jobs I've done before when you got to change fuse boards. I don't know what you guys think, if you think that's a good idea. And another thing, I see like some Sparkies that I've come across, they do brilliant fuse boards, really neat and tidy. My fuse boards aren't the neatest. It's nothing to write home about. I try my best, but I can never get them as neat as I've seen some of you guys do, That's just something I just wanted to say, about leaving cables the same length. Do you think that's a good idea? That's what I do. I always do it. So let us know what you think. Greatest pair of cutters. It's long enough. I just don't want to cut it too short. Oh, okay, so if short. I've got some bigger cable cuts, on the bloody van. Oh, yes it can. Yes it can. Can see fuse boards up, trunking lid back on, and I've done the best I could. These type of jobs I prefer to do from scratch. When you have to do adaptations for existing stuff, a lot of times it can be a bit tricky, take you a bit of time. So but anyway, it's all done, and I've tested and all that, done all my testing. Yeah, I cleared out there's a lot of cut off cables in this trunk in here, so I just pulled them through, made that as clear as possible, got rid of them, and all the unused, there were quite a few unused circuits, because like I said before, this was like some plastic moulding sort of place, and a lot of three-phase machinery. So things like this are no longer being used, and there's quite a few of them dotted round, but you can't even get to them. That wasn't part of the job to take them out, but you can't get to them. So I've took out all the redundant cable, cut them off, got them out of this trunking, and just put my circuits in and tested. So now I've got to finish up, label everything, put the stickers on, and actually I'm gonna go around and mark what phases, what's on what phase and that, you know, stuff like that. So that's it. RCD test on this trip time. My son's going to be at the other end of the fuse board, switching it on, resetting the fuse board for me. So I've got it here. I'm going to have it on. I've got it on auto and 30 milliseconds. So it's going to trip. It's going to do automatic trip. I could be at that end and just keeps resetting it myself, and then I could just come and use the arrow to see what readings it's got. But because this is a spur, and I'm going to have to keep the cable in, I've got to keep the connections on myself. I'm going to have my son at the other end. My son at the other end resetting it for me. Yeah? Okay, cool. The RCD test, trip test on the lighting circuit, it comes to that spur there for this fan, so that's the best place, it's the easiest place for me to do it. So I'm going to do that process again. Again, my son's going to be at the other end doing the MCB, the RCD for me. Okay. Just going to go through the readings, and times 1 at 0 degrees is 15.4, times 1 at 180 degrees 15.7, times 5 at 0 degrees 9.07, and at 180 5.48. Cool. I'm just in the process of identifying the circuits, labeling them. I'm going to eventually do a circuit chart, put it somewhere here so they know exactly what's done. I've done that on the inside, now I'm just doing it on the outside. I'm just got to stick some labels on, and then everything will be done. Right, there's our finished fuse board. I haven't labelled it up yet, still got to put the circuit chart in, and I've got a blank missing here which I'm going to get and do it, put it in, and yeah, I'm going to put some, obviously 400 volts, danger 400 volts and all that on here, and then the job's done, everything's done. That's it, completed.